no, I'm useless. I'll just stay here, make it a 2v2, and he's probably yelling, it's a 2v2, it's a 2v2, I've got no boost. But, you know, I don't think it's... I think he probably could have done something. If he half flips in a position there, he's probably covering something. So, yeah, I respect to relating with there. That's bold. What an entertaining way to tie the series.
And again, if you're Vatira, your team's in a great position on that 2v2 to try and score. And now, speaking of 2-2, that is the scoreline of this series. Quadrant fought back into this and maybe able to keep this one out. They have for now. Have shown a different level to their defense, not just their offense. And what I'm liking at this point, Johnny, is that the touches in defense are now impactful. They're getting the ball away from the next man up. Rather than earlier on where Casey were able to run roughshot on that particular type of play. Now on the counter, Itachi had two players up against him.
Yeah, I think Quadrant have just made the perfect switch up. Zero hesitation, zero respect. They're, you know, if you could turn off nameplates, if you could have your opponents in the lobby named after Rocket League bots, I think that would be a great help for people playing against Karmine Corp. It's less intimidating. This is intimidating right here, though. Vatira, almost save!
You're joking!
He denies the point-blank range finish by popping the ball into his own crossbar. Exotic was right there for it. Vatira will be devastated. He outplayed the entire team, and this time, there's no team for him to outplay, just an open net. He puts it in himself.
Vatira will think just about time, really. Ixter with the whip off the backboard. He will not be happy that we are sitting through this replay, and he has to relive that one. And that is a massive moment as well for KC, because when you get games like the last one that go against you, and then you don't score that, suddenly it starts to feel like just an inevitability that the game is starting to creep away from your hands. And they've got the 1-goal lead. But in all series, that first goal has not really meant all too much. Both teams seem to have the fight back within them.
You know, much more aggressive off-the-ball setup here from Karmine Corp in Game 5. Not sure if that's something Quadrant will be expecting. Karmine Corp have tried to just out-position them and have a superior, I think, spacing on the lobby. Every time a Karmine Corp player plays the ball, someone else is following up behind him. Anytime somebody challenges, someone's following up behind him. That's how they've beaten every team in this tournament so far. That's how they've been so dominant. But Quadrant haven't allowed them to really get into that zone, because whenever Quadrant have the ball, they just fire it in seemingly a random direction. That's a better save there from Ixo. Lamp in the near post. They're all on the same page, Quadrant, and that's what's making it work. If you're spread out, if you're ready for your teammates to just rush everything, you're going to be able to play off that just a little bit quicker than the opposition. Karmine Corp have really had all the pressure, all the territory so far in Game 5. We're past halftime, just 2 shots for Quadrant to write home about, and neither of them are memorable.
Much to your point as well about just taking that aggressive stance, that everybody has to be on the same page. If one player is doing it, it makes it pointless because nobody's going to be there to follow up.
Yeah.
It is an all-or-nothing style of approach, and that was 2 players. That was very much close to all of it gone for Karmine Corp. Demo as well, much needed challenge from Itachi. Get through the ball. And just more time ticking away without any reasonable opportunities created for Quadrant. KC, on the other hand, you'd think they're the team that are trailing at the moment. They have been very dominant across the field in terms of setting up possession, getting their opportunities. This one might be against them, however. Itachi doesn't really feel too much pressure. That's because none was heading his way.
Yeah, full control for Karmine Corp here. Such a solid team once they've got a goal lead. More prepared for those hard cuts, for those breaks of rotation that Quadrant have been surprising them with in games 3 and 4. You know, previously, Quadrant had clearly communicated that to one another. Just anytime you can turn on the ball and quickly advance, do it. We know we know anyone's gonna turn at any time, even relating wave. There's no leaving the ball to go through to a third man here. Looks like Karmine Corp have adapted to that now. They've realized, okay, Quadrant are just gonna go for everything. They're not respecting us. They're not leaving the ball to roll through. They're playing impatiently. And when a team's playing impatiently against you, You need to also play impatiently, but just be better, just be faster, just be more mechanical. And I think that's something KC can do.
It's just nullified their challenge game a little bit, although it has re-established itself in this game. And speaking of re-established, Vatira, how are you going to stop him when he's established this much field presence?
A monster of a pass across the field there from Itachi. Defense completely flat on that one from Relating Wave. He had boost. He was in the net. He just didn't expect the cross to go that high towards the back post. So he covered more than near post. Didn't want the drop down. Didn't want the direct shot to be a problem. Itachi just launched it over his head. This is going to be game 5 going to Karmine Corp. Double match point going to Karmine Corp. Barring a ridiculous chain of events. That's not a storyline we're going to need to think about, because it is a comfortable 2-0 victory for KC. We're back in the driver's seat.
I'm trying really hard to remember a Quadrant chance. Really, really hard.